In the quiet town of Amako, tucked between red earth roads and tall palm trees in eastern Nigeria, lived a young woman named Ifunanya Okori. Ifunanya was not just beautiful. She carried a calm grace that made people pause when she walked by. Her skin glowed like freshly polished ebony, her eyes were thoughtful, and her voice soft but firm carried conviction. Yet despite her beauty and good upbringing, Ifunanya was known for one thing that set her apart. She turned down every suitor who came her way. In Amak, this was not a small matter. By the time Ifunanya turned 26, the village women had already started whispering, "Is something wrong with her? Maybe she's barren. Or maybe she's proud. I heard she rejected a man from Ori who owns 3 buses." Every market day, as women spread tomatoes and dried fish on raffia trays, Ifunanya's name floated through the air like smoke from firewood. Her mother, Mama Nkiru, bore the weight of those whispers the most. One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon and chickens scurried into corners, Mama Nkiru sat on a wooden stool outside their bungalow. "Ifunanya," she called gently, "come and sit." Ifunanya came, wiping her hands on her wrapper. "My daughter," her mother began, voice trembling, "how long will you continue like this? Your mates are already mothers. Some have 2 children." Ifunanya lowered her eyes. "Mama, I know. Then why do you keep rejecting these men?" Mama Nkiru asked. "Do you want people to say, I did not train you well?" Ifunanya inhaled deeply. "Mama, I am not saying no because I hate marriage," she said softly. "I am saying no because I don't want any marriage." Her mother sighed heavily. "In this Nigeria," she said, "marriage is not about what you want alone. Men came from different places. There was Chinedu, a civil servant with a steady salary and loud laughter. There was Ibrahim, a wealthy cattle dealer from the north, sent by his uncle who lived in the village. There was Ech, a church brother who prayed loudly and quoted scripture like Proverbs. There was even Mr. Okafor, a widower old enough to be her father, who promised to take care of her forever. To each of them, Ifunanya listened respectfully, and to each of them, she said the same words. "I appreciate your interest, but I am not ready for marriage." Some accepted it with dignity. Others insulted her. One even said angrily, "You will regret this pride." Her father, Papa Okori, was a quiet man, a retired schoolteacher who believed more in observation than shouting. One night, while the harmattan wind rattled the zinc roof, he finally spoke. "Ifunanya," he said calmly, "a woman who refuses all men must have a reason." She looked at him, startled. "I am listening." For a long moment, she was silent. Then tears welled up. "Papa," she whispered, "I have seen too much." When Ifunanya was 12, her Aunt Mama Eber had been married off to a respected man in a neighboring town. On the outside, everything looked perfect. Inside the house, it was hell. Beatings, humiliation, loneliness. One night, Ifunanya had overheard her and crying to her mother, "I would rather die single than live like this." 2 years later, Mama Eber died quietly after years of suffering. That night carved a deep wound in Ifunanya's heart. "I promised myself," Ifunanya told her father, "that I would never enter a marriage where love respect, and peace are absent. I am not afraid of being alone. I am afraid of being trapped. Her father nodded slowly. Then stand firm, he said. But be ready. Society is not gentle with women like you. As years passed, the pressure increased. Church women began to pray aggressively for her without her consent. Village elders suggested spiritual cleansing. Some said she was possessed. One day, at a wedding, a woman mocked her openly. "You better hurry," she laughed, "before your womb expires." Iphigenia smiled politely, but that night she cried alone. Still, she did not bend. At 29, Iphigenia lost her teaching job due to government cuts. Suddenly, the same people who mocked her began to whisper again. "You see, no husband, no job. This is why a woman needs a man." A wealthy suitor returned this time with pressure. "My daughter," Mama Nkiru pleaded, "this man can change your life." Iphigenia looked at the man's cold eyes in controlling tone. "No, Mama." That night, she packed her bag. "I am going to the city," she said. Lagos was loud, chaotic, unforgiving. Iphigenia struggled. She worked small jobs, lived in a cramped room, and faced rejection. But she refused to compromise her values. One afternoon, at a community library where she volunteered, she met Tunde Adebola. He was not rich. He was not loud. He listened. They talked about books, Nigeria, dreams, and pain. For the first time, Iphigenia felt safe. When Tunde eventually told her he loved her, her heart trembled not with fear, but recognition. "I don't want to own you," he said. "I want to walk with you." She did not answer immediately. Months passed. When she finally said yes, it was not to pressure but to peace. When Iphigenia returned home with Tunde, the village was shocked. The same girl. The one that refused everybody. Papa Kori smiled quietly. Mama Nkiru cried not from shame, but relief. At the traditional marriage, Iphigenia stood tall, radiant. She had not rejected marriage. She had rejected fear, haste, and societal control. Years later, young girls gathered around her for advice. "Auntie Iphigenia," one asked, "is it wrong to say no?" She smiled. "No," she said. "It is wrong to say yes when your heart is screaming no." And in Amok, the story of the girl who turned down every suitor became a lesson not of pride, but of courage.